For years, she kept trying to fix what broke her, believing love meant staying, even when it hurt. But one quiet morning, she realized something she'd never dared to before. Maybe walking away was the most loving thing she could do. Here's a story about the girl who finally chose herself, and how everything changed when she did. Her name was Aisha, 28, a graphic designer living in a small apartment filled with soft lights, books stacked like towers, and one lonely plant she kept forgetting to water. If you asked anyone who knew her, they'd say she was the kindest person they'd met, always smiling, always saying, "It's okay," even when it wasn't. But beneath that calm voice and polite nods, Aisha carried exhaustion so deep it became her second skin. Her relationship with Omar had started like a dream. Late-night drives, laughter that felt like sunlight, and plans that stretched far beyond what either of them could afford. He was charming, spontaneous, the kind of man who made ordinary moments feel cinematic, until, slowly, the warmth started to fade. At first, it was small things, the way his tone shifted when she disagreed. The nights he'd go silent for hours, then show up the next day pretending nothing happened. The apologies that sounded rehearsed. She told herself it was just stress, that love meant understanding, even when it hurt. And every time she thought about leaving, the fear of being the one who gave up kept her still. Her friends noticed. "You're not you anymore," one of them said over coffee one afternoon. Aisha smiled, the kind of smile that hides more than it shows, and changed the topic. At work, she started missing deadlines. Her sketches looked forced, her ideas half-lived. At home, the walls felt heavier. She found herself staring at her own reflection, wondering when she stopped recognizing the woman looking back. The breaking point came on a Sunday. She had spent all day cooking his favorite meal, biryani the way his mother made it, because he'd promised to come by. She waited and waited. By 11 p.m., the food was cold, her phone silent. When he finally texted, "Sorry, got busy." "Eat without me." Something inside her didn't shatter, it just stopped. No tears, no anger, just silence. The kind that tells you the storm is finally over. The next morning, she packed the small things she'd left at his apartment, her scarf, her charger, her sketchbook. He asked what she was doing. "Leaving," she said. He laughed, the way people do when they think you're bluffing. But this time, she didn't flinch. She walked out quietly. No scene, no drama, just the sound of her own footsteps. Steady, unshaken, real. For weeks it felt strange. She'd reach for her phone, then stop. Her nights were quieter, but not lonely. She started sketching again, not for clients, not for approval, but for herself. One evening, sitting on her balcony with a cup of tea, she watched the sunset melt into gold. And for the first time in years, she didn't feel like she was waiting for someone to come home. She was home. Her healing wasn't dramatic. It came in moments, watering that old plant again, calling friends she hadn't spoken to, saying no, without apologizing for it. It came in realizing that love isn't supposed to hurt this much, and that the version of herself she'd been missing wasn't lost, just waiting for her to return. Months later, when she saw Omar again at a cafe, he smiled awkwardly. "You look different," he said. Aisha just nodded, smiled back softly, and replied, "I am." That night, she went home, turned off her phone, and opened a blank page in her sketchbook. At the top, she wrote one sentence, simple but true. "This time, I chose me." In the end, she didn't need closure from him, because walking away was the closure she'd been waiting for all along.